Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Christina, and today I'm sharing with you what I will be using with my rising 5th grader for the 2024-2025 homeschool year. For her personal devotional time, she's going to do Proverbs, the companion lesson book. This is for ages 9 and up. This is something I purchased at Generations. And I wanted her to go through Proverbs, and I saw this, and I thought it was perfect. So she'll have a memory verse, vocabulary, some questions, connecting the verse, review, so make sure she is remembering her memory verse. And this is something I probably incorporate as a family, so whatever her memory verse is in here, we'll be doing that as a family. Here's application questions, and then a little fun activity. So it kind of goes through that throughout the book. So I thought this would be fun for her. A fun way to kind of go through Proverbs. So then she would just use her Bible to do that. This is her Bible, by the way. It's the Beautiful Word Coloring Bible for girls. This is really nice. So this has been her Bible. Whenever the kids learn to read, they get a Bible. So this was the one she received back in 1st grade. And this is the one she uses. So that's what she's going to use when she's going through this. I probably will provide her with a Bible reading plan as well. Just a simple reading plan. So that way in the morning she can go to her Bible, read from the reading plan, and then start a lesson here. So this is my plan for independent devotional time. So for handwriting, we're sticking with Pentime 5, cursive. She's been doing this since the 2nd book. The 2nd book is more of a transitional, and it's cursive all the way through. I believe these books go up to the 8th level. And just, they're really straightforward. My kids really enjoy them. They do have different topics that they talk about in each book. Like here, I think they're talking about animals, so they'll have pictures in the back so they could see how or what colors they are, and then that will coordinate with whatever lesson they are doing, and then they can color the picture. So my daughter really enjoys doing this, and we keep it super simple. It's part of their independent work. So this is something she does by herself, and just generally does 1 page a day, or if she's working on, sometimes through here, there'll be a page where they're copying a whole chunk. So with something like this, she'll take some time and she'll move through it. Just so, you know, she wants to be neat and color. And you can pull it out. You can send it to a relative, which she has done before. We've hung them up. I mean, there's so many things. You can keep a notebook. So we really do enjoy this handwriting. This one has Braille in it, which is kind of cool. It's not raised, but that's kind of cool. So we enjoy this handwriting. It's really inexpensive. I think it's like $7 a book on Rainbow Resource. So definitely worth it. For keyboarding, I decided to go with just a physical book. We were doing keyboarding.com, which is just a free resource. And we've been using that since she's been in 2nd grade. And it's fine. I just think we just needed something different. So This just kind of takes you through the basics, you know, hand placement. It gives you things to copy. And it's just real methodical and step-by-step, which I like. And she can go into a Google Doc and learn how to do that with this. And, you know, just something that I think she was ready for a change. You just have to, there is. Okay, see, look, I didn't even look at this completely. I thought we can just put it on a stand, but it has a stand, so that's even better. So you can make a stand out of this, and then it will stand upright. So when you're working by the computer, it's all ready to go. So that is what we're using for handwriting, and she'll just move through this. Probably one lesson a week. I don't see us doing this more than that, but regardless, it'll give her the extra practice. So, you know, when she's writing stories or anything like that, then she will feel more and more comfortable to just hop on a computer and type it out. So that is what we're doing for handwriting and typing. For overall language, she's going to continue with language lessons for living education, level 5. We had changed our original plan for what we thought she was going to do for reading. So because we did that, we didn't feel the need to change this. Now, if we had stayed with the reading plan that we were going to do, we would have probably just pulled different resources for different subjects in language arts. But because we're doing what we're doing, and you'll see that in a minute, we're just going to stick with this. So in this particular book, it does cover things like grammar, writing. They're working on short stories and writing stories in this one. There is spelling, and all of that is included. So she really enjoys this program, and it's always been one of her favorites. So it kind of has information in the front of how you can use this. So these are very helpful if you're new to the program. This is 5 days a week, and we may or may not keep that schedule. I'm not quite sure. We kind of do it just a few days a week now because we're not using the whole program, but now we're going to use the whole program. So yeah, it might stretch for at least 4 days. But here's a lesson. You have a story that you're reading, and then they narrate to the teacher. Day 1. Day 2 looks like grammar practice. Sentence types. You have reading comprehension, which is what she uses this for. This is 101 favorite stories from the Bible. So she's going to actually be jumping ahead because she didn't use this for the last book. So they're probably, you know, starting further ahead, but she will be using this resource. You have your spelling day. Just curious. Yeah, you have your spelling practice along with the worksheet. And then it goes on to lesson 2, and they alternate between reading a story or picture study. So this one's picture study, writing, grammar, continued with more grammar, language laughs, so just for fun page, reading comprehension, chooses the book, and spelling. And that's basically the format. Now we have a system that we use for spelling. There's also word shapes, which are free resources on the website that you can print to go along with your spelling program. We introduce the words on Monday. We don't wait to the 5th day. So there's a way we have figured out that works well for us, so that allows her to work on the words throughout the week. So that way on Friday she can just do a test on the words. So that has worked well for us. So we don't need to grab an additional spelling program. So we'll go ahead and just kind of flip through. Ooh. There's all kinds of back matter. Practice sheets, games you can play. Here's all the spelling lists in one place. There's just lots of stuff in the back that is helpful. You have pages for your dictionary. You're having your child do the dictionary portion, reading log, assessments, all of that. So all of that is back here. So that's what we will be using for our overall language this year. Now for grammar, we're going to use Easy Grammar, grade 5. This is the teacher manual. I have ordered the workbook, so the student workbook, which just has copies of the worksheets that they'll do. Originally I planned to just copy them, and then I'm like, you know what, I don't want to. So I ordered the workbook, and yeah, she's looked over this. She had a choice of this or Editor-in-Chief because she has worked on that. She's familiar with that, and we were just going to continue on with that program, and she chose this. So this is something we're probably only going to do 2-3 times a week, so we won't finish this year. It may go into next year, and I'm totally fine with that. This is just like an overall review of all the grammar that she's learned and kind of continued practice. Once she gets done with this, I don't think she'll need to do formal grammar. I was trying to figure out which level I thought would work well for that, because we are spreading it probably over 2 grades, and I thought level 5 was best for that. So this is the table of contents. Now you are memorizing prepositions, and then kind of just going through your verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, pronouns, various things, sentence type, friendly letter, interjections, conjunctions, sentences, and fragments, capitalization, punctuation, writing sentences. And then they do have another book that you can use alongside this called Dailygrams. There are some copies of those pages in this book if you wanted to try them. We haven't ordered that. We just decided we're going to work through this. And they're just worksheets. So you have your teacher side with all the answers, and then this is the worksheet, which you could reproduce and copy, but we're just going to go with the workbook. So the workbook will have this page in there. So she'll just work, 2 to 3 times a week, most likely, and we'll just kind of work through the grammar. It's nothing pretty. It's pretty, obviously black and white, just straight to the point. But I thought it would be helpful for her in particular, and she likes workbooks. So she was excited to work through this. So that is what she's doing for grammar. Now for reading, we have some things here. So she wanted to try the pathway reading. My younger son is currently working on pathway reading, and she wanted to try her level. So we have ordered that. So this is the grade 5. It's called Living Together. And it's just a chapter book. And she goes through this. And there's different units. she reads through it. And then there is a workbook that goes along with it. So you'll have these do coincide. So if you have the picture here, it will say the picture here, so you know what you're working on. So she'll read that bit there. It starts on page 6. And when she finishes that, then she can work on the worksheet that goes with it. So it's just vocabulary, figuring out from the word bank, filling in the blanks. You have put a check mark in front of each sentence that tells something that is true. Write a good sentence. And then it starts on the next chapter, the bookworm. So it's really easy layout. Looks like just one page front and back, which is definitely doable. She had originally thought she was going to do God's Big Story, and she's almost finished with the current level, and I think just was ready for something different, which is fine. So that is something she requested. And she also wanted to try the Progeny Press guides. Now this is a used guide I picked up at Thrift Books. And this is one of the books she wanted to read. We read this as a read aloud her first grade year of homeschool. And so this is Little House in the Big Woods by Laura Ingalls Wilder. So I went with this one. This is what I could find used. I wanted to make sure she liked them before I went ahead and grabbed more. So we'll probably start the year with this. This will be her first thing that she does reading wise, and then she can move on to this. And then there's supplemental stuff I have here. So here's your table of contents. You have your synopsis about the author, background information, before you read activities, Little House in the Big Woods, and winter days and winter nights. So this is the different chapters she's reading. And yeah, it just kind of goes through like that with different activities to do per chapter. Take an idea about the author. And so she wanted to try this. She really loves to read, so she thought maybe, you know, working through it and doing activities and all that would be fun. So we're going to try it. If she likes them, I'll get more. You know, maybe I can find some that go with some other books and then switch some things out. But as far as now, this is what we're planning. And so that's what she's working on. There's all kinds of, so there's projects and activities. Like there's making butter, vocabulary, comprehension questions, digging deeper, or activities or projects. And it kind of just goes in that format. So this is what she is gonna do for reading to begin the year. Some other books I have stacked for her to read. We have Sounder by William H. Armstrong. So this is the keen sorrow and the abiding faith of a poor African-American boy in the 19th century South. The boy's father is a sharecropper struggling to feed his family in hard times. Night after night, he and his great coon dog, Sounder, return to the cabin empty-handed. Then one morning, almost like a miracle, a sweet-smelling ham is cooking in the family's kitchen. We have a couple Dear America books. This is The Diary of Margaret Ann Brady, Voyage on the Great Titanic, 1912. We have Dreams in the Golden Country, a diary of Zipporah Feldman, a Jewish immigrant girl, 1903. We have The Wright Brothers, A Kitty Hawk by Donald J. Sobel. Orville and Wilbur Wright were a couple of bicycle salesmen from Dayton, Ohio, who shared a common dream to fly a powered machine. They weren't alone in their dream. All over the world, men were attempting to fly. A great trade fair in St. Louis was offering large sums of money to the first man to reach the sky. And we have One Crazy Summer from Rita Williams Garcia. Set during one of the most tumultuous years in recent American history, One Crazy Summer is a heartbreaking, funny tale of three girls who traveled to Oakland, California in 1968 in search of the mother who abandoned them. It's an unforgettable story told by a distinguished author of books for children and teens. This is a graphic novel of the Titanic. So I survived the sinking of the Titanic, 1912. And we will be just kind of taking a little time to learn more about the Titanic. I do have additional resources in that we'll be using in our morning basket that I'll share closer to the time of school with you guys. This is What a Character. So I have two What a Character books. This is a new series from Master Books. I think it's going to be like a 10-book series. These are the two I picked for her to read this year. We have America's Famous Spies. Let's see. So these are the people it covers. And then we have America's War Heroes. These are some names there. So that is what I have her for kind of reading that I'm going to put in a schedule for her. She enjoys reading, and I like to get that extra little bit of things and topics that I want her to continue reading about. This is kind of how we do it. So I just put all this into a schedule, and she goes and follows that. So that is what I have planned for her reading. For math, she's going to do Math Lessons for Living Education Level 5. So she's working through the Level 4 book now. This is something we switched back to back in January of our current year. And she will be using the Academy video portion to go along with this. And we also have the Practice Makes Perfect book, which I'll put a picture up for you to see. That includes like quizzes and tests and additional practice pages. So we utilize that as well. So again, this is a 5-day program. We generally try to keep it 4 so we can do some easier learning on Fridays, or fun school, I guess you could say. Here's lesson 1. We have a story. And she actually, now that her love for reading has increased so much, she enjoys reading this on her own. So this is independent. She reads this. Also, if you do get the Academy course, they do read the story on there as well. She has her day 1 exercise. We have a day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. And generally, when it comes to master books, a good portion of the beginning is review, and then it gets into new concepts. So here is kind of how, let me pull more back so you can see. There are all the answer keys in the back. You do have resources that you can take out, and if you want to put them in a plastic sheet to use, or put them in a reference folder, which we do. We keep a reference binder when it comes to math and language arts. All of that is back there. And then these are the actual lessons. And the Practice Makes Perfect books. If you use them alongside the lessons, it just keeps it for a nice kind of review. Because generally in those practice books, they're just working on things they've already learned and reviewing them, which is nice. So that is what she is doing for math. Her last 2 subjects are history, and then she just has a workbook for extra geography practice. So history should be moving on to America's Story 3. This is from the early 1900s to modern times. We've done the whole series, so this is our last book for America's Story. So she really likes this program, and with it, we just kind of notebook through the topics. So this is what you'll see here are some of the things that she will be going over. This is the student text. So this is where you're reading your stories and looking at all the beautiful pictures. There's great visuals in this history. And so this is the teacher manual. This is if you just like, just to have something for extra ideas. That's kind of why I always get it. All of the timeline pictures are in the back of this book in black and white. You can also purchase them in color, which is what I do. But you don't need to because they're there. There's different activities throughout this. There are ideas for extra writing, how to do various activities. This is all answer keys. There's comprehension questions. There's some math work, poetry. Sometimes there's like a artist study. So there is sketching, timeline, prompts. There's lots of things. You can use this as is. Here's copy work. Or you can pull what matters to you and how you are teaching the lesson. I like it as a resource. So there is quite a bit in here. So that is what the teacher guide looks like. And they do schedule it in here as like a 5-day thing. We usually just do history 3 days a week. And then these are the color timeline sheets, which she keeps a timeline notebook and just puts them in there in the order of which they need to be. Here we have math skills for today. This is grade 5. This is focusing on the Americas. What it was focusing on wasn't really that important to me. I just wanted her to have extra practice. I mean, we do math work, but I thought as a supplement, maybe on Fridays, just going through a lesson would be good. They're nice small books, so I think that's definitely doable. So you have globe skills, and it kind of just goes all the parts of the Americas and takes you through with little activities. It's nice and colorful, straight to the point, and it just gives that extra practice. So I'll just kind of go through this really quick. And these are really inexpensive books as well. Definitely under $10, I believe they were. Just, a nice extra supplement. And there we go. So that is what she's doing for geography and history. So that is what I am using for my rising 5th grader for the upcoming 2024-2025 homeschool year. I am definitely excited for what she's going to be doing this upcoming year. Please let me know if you have a rising 5th grader. How are you doing? Have you planned everything for the upcoming year? Are you still working out the little kinks and details? Let me know down below. And please stick around as I will be sharing my Rising Second Graders curriculum coming up here next on this channel. Make sure you like this video and subscribe if you want to see that. And also, if there are any questions on any of the resources that I've shared here that you are curious about, maybe something I didn't touch on and you want to know more, drop those questions down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And I appreciate you sitting with me on this one, guys, and I will see you on the next one. God bless.